Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. There's something on the wing.
Okay, Kirk.
She'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab. It was time for her partner to get to work.
The emoji's trying her best. Yeah! Huh? What was that? That came from... This is the 4th time we have seen this. Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
When they were killed bothers me, too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
Alright.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all.
Yes. That's because the biggest hammer that was painted was 4 and used to kill Taka, and then the clean hammer that we found in there was also the biggest, used to kill Hifumi and then washed.
But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right?
Yes.
So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
I mean,
He's
rude,
right.
but he's not wrong.
I know.
Stand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the
Oh,
hammers
come
were already
on!
laying around those other rooms,
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers?
They didn't. They used the one in the
Personally,
room.
I haven't a clue. So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
so then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
It was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. So now I have to find the truth. Spotless hammer.
What was used to
It
kill
could have been the blue
Hifumi?
card.
Was it Justice Hammer
It's just a
3?
floppy hammer.
Maybe Justice Hammer 4.
well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it? Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice
Hang on, I'll Google it.
No, it's wrong. The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
No, it's not completely different. It's just undecorated.
Seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi.
Stop. Hammer time.
Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones,
Some as big as your head.
and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Bro, there's exactly 4 missing that match the sizes. They just painted them.
Look, he's running out of fucking RAM.
That would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, There is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder, so the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
Unless she took the laptop.
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but...
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
You're gonna have to use a green bullet, or...
Yeah, I think so.
Even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Do we use the first one to disprove the second, or the second one to disprove the first?
Based on the rules that have been laid out,
However, there were two murders.
God!
Slow-mo!
This case, however, there were two murders.
I wasn't even on it. How did it... whatever.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for even if more than one, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true.
No, that's wrong. Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Oh, if each of them commit a murder each.
Ah.
The payoff
Okay.
working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
That's clever as hell.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By
And I'm still
one
convinced
seamless
it's
set of
Celeste.
circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same, that was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although she's a cold bitch who doesn't like to share. If you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
Like she was watching it from the control room as it went down.
But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now!
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end, murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Oh,
We're
it's
getting there. We're getting there.
It's gotta be Celeste. Where the hell is she? Come on.
It was Celeste.
Yes!
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
Oh, fuck you.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea
murdered
that I
time?
would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit-brain, that lazy goddamn idiot!
Whoa!
Celeste, your address has slipped, or your accent has slipped.
Wow!
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the
It is.
investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Encountering the suspicious individual. Or the paper hidden in Fumi's pants. That's also really funny.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and
I
Hifumi.
feel like it could have been the screaming too. They're the only two who
The
ever did it.
adults are talking now.
Oh, you might have been wrong.
Oh shit. I had just taken a sip, so I was worried I was gonna, like, spurt it.
Spit take!
Casual spits, he doesn't swallow.
Oh god.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed
Oh,
individual.
fuck you, Byakuya.
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
And a poorly
That's
concealed
kind of
one
the
at that.
point, Aoi.
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. There's something on the wing.
Okay,
She'd
Kirk.
done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab. It was time for her partner to get to work.
You know, she's trying her best. Yeah! Huh? What was that? That came from... This is the fourth fucking time we have seen this. Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups.
In fact, Celeste was
Shit,
precisely
sorry.
the one who proposed that we split up.
Oh yeah, that is fair.
Then why don't we split into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well, then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will lead the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
She took the two dumbest people.
Yeah!
Because if the timing was off, she could convince that you with a little bit of, like, I don't know, leg and maybe a slice of cheese.
Maybe a
donut.
strawberry or two.
And on top of that
Also,
piercing
da
cry
da
of
da.
yours early on.
I haven't spoken a line in a while, and you skipped my da da.
I'm
That
sorry.
was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
Da da da.
I just
Wait.
realized another
Da da
strange
da.
thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this.
Sorry. But if you want to read it.
Have we done this one already?
I can't
way
remember,
back when,
but we're at the
not
climax,
recently.
so it won't kill.
I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
Dot dot dot.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait, then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Sitting here at dinner. No.
Monkey's brains.
Yeah. Not, though popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not often to be found in Washington, D.C.
Is that what we ate?
But looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
Really?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Yes! This is exactly the kind of thing that we nailed Mondo on at the first when he mentioned Chihiro's body as a dude.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
I just assumed we were talking about all the other dead people who have been, murdered.
Are we here? Am I hearing clicking or am I going crazy?
No, you are. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Oh, that
I
might
see
be
what
my
you're
foot.
talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said that the Celeste comment doesn't make sense, but what is he alluding to?
Oh, come on.
I know, right? It's sure. It's staring you right in the face. It's like, will they figure it out? What's staring them in the face?
Really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here.
She skipped something.
We are going to die. Just
Oh, there it is.
Those guys. Suck it up, suck it up, suck it.
And that's
Suck
all
it.
takes to finish this. It's obvious,
Suck it.
isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
And then no. Suck up those guys and then so strange.
Might as
Yeah?
well try it since he's already got it.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying
Yeah,
the
she's,
sight of us standing around, frightened and
Or maybe the other way might work.
They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like those guys died.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's alright.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Literally,
Yeah,
Byakuya said
fuck
exactly
on
that
a-
a moment ago.
Exactly.
Dot, dot.
And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Dot, dot.
Oh, she's about to go nuts, isn't she?
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
I thought that was going to be the breaking point.
Oh, just wait. She's getting there.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw.
Yes.
Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right?
I mean, he could have just been posing with the costume.
So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
There's no timer on the phone.
You are the only one who could have possibly
The phone,
into
the
that
camera.
suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is Hifumi and the suspect are dancing. Hifumi and the suspect had been drinking. Hifumi is dragging the suspect away. Oh, or that.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Whoa! Sassy!
Bitch fight!
Get
your tickets here, folks! Bitch fight!
Somebody get the jello!
Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? We're about to find out next time on